saying things people already know out loud is tight.
Avada Kedavra.
You park in front of your house, I park in front of my house.
This is...
Hey, if you don't stop, I will contact the usher.
What's up, everyone? It's Adam from FWCI, and this is my Ted Lasso Season 1 review, breakdown, ranking list. I don't even know what the hell to call these ones. Season 1 wrap-up, we'll call it. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about my top 3 favorite characters from the series, my top 3 favorite moments from the series as well. And I usually try and watch some bloopers and outtakes, but I couldn't find a good Ted Lasso bloopers/outtakes video on YouTube, so instead we're gonna have a look at the honest trailer for Ted Lasso, which they're usually pretty fun. Surprised the views don't do better, but we'll check out the honest trailer for Ted Lasso on this one here. What an amazing show. This show caught me by surprise. I didn't know what it was gonna be. I thought I was just in for like straight up comedy, but the heart and the drama in this show, the characters, just the whole vibe and the story that this show is telling has drawn me in completely. I'm so happy that I reacted to this on the channel because this is perfect reaction material. I look forward to doing Season 2 as well, which that will be starting next week. But overall, this show was just an absolute delight. There was nothing to really complain about. There was no significant flaws that I could even think of. I mean, sometimes you talk about plots moving a bit quickly, and there were elements of this, especially towards the end when Rebecca comes clean with Ted. Things kind of move on very quick, but I like that. Not everything has to drag out into this long arc of drama and forgiveness kind of thing. Like, it's very in character for Ted Lasso to say, I forgive you, thank you for telling me, now let's move on with this, you know, goal that we share. We're going to talk more about Season 1 as we go along, but let's check out the honest trailer from Screen Junkies. Let's see what they got for us with Ted Lasso. On a streaming trailers, yeah.
Morning show. You didn't see, and you haven't bothered to start your Mythic Quest. I hear it's good though, but since your iPhone...
Yeah, Mythic Quest is next on the list. I'm currently halfway through the first season of Severance with my missus, so I'm getting a little bit of use out of Apple TV.
Crapped out on you, and every new one comes with a free year of Apple TV Plus. You might as well check out Ted Lasso. Prepare for a show that feels like it was based on a dad joke about the 2 types of football, but was actually based on a series of NBC sports commercials.
How many countries are in this country? 4.
But unlike the guy
Really?
show that, yes, really happened.
Yabba dabba doo.
Seriously, don't do that.
This show
That was Nick Kroll. I think I've seen a clip from that before, but I was not aware that Ted Lasso is commercials. Maybe we'll have a quick look at those as well.
overcame impossible odds to actually be really good. It's at least as unlikely as Leicester City winning the Premier League in 16.
I just got asked to be the head coach at Rochester.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
For 10 episodes crammed full of hugging, learning, growing, crying, and more hugging. And because streaming services are cheaper than therapy, we're working through all of our trauma by watching TV comedies, even the cartoons. So gear up for a season-long motivational speech delivered by the world's first manic pixie dream dad, who's here to change lives and shoot you in the face with a fully loaded pun gun for 30 minutes straight.
And our goal is to go out like Willie Nelson, on a high.
You know what you do with tough cookies, don't you?
Dunk them in
With
milk.
They met at his Friday Night Chess Club. Apparently they liked each other's moves. Oh, that wasn't a joke.
Was it not?
Oh, I guess it kind of was.
Meet Ted. He's what happens when a golden retriever humps a motivational poster until Ned Flanders pops out.
Knock-a-doodle-doo.
And he's up against the only force powerful enough to counter that much optimism. British people.
Yes, I say that in my reaction. I was like, the absolute smothering pessimism that is English people in general, and the absolute optimism of Ted Lasso is such a great combination.
Thrill as every type of cynical Brit falls to his toxic positivity.
That's a long time to wait, Ted.
and relentless food-based assaults.
I'll start bringing these to you every morning. Called Biscuits with the Boss.
Hey, man, you guys gonna be chin-chin.
Well, we know you haven't been home in a while, so we thought we'd bring some home to you.
I'm good.
In a story that shows how even though the British words for certain things may be different,
They don't say out of bounds, they say into touch. They call cleats boots.
I have never coached the sport that you folks call football.
we still have a lot
The gaffer, me, going out to the pitch, grass here, to watch practice.
Training.
Fries are called chips, chips are called crisps, and bangers aren't great songs.
we still have
Honest trailers, I don't know, you're losing me with that joke. That's just a running gag throughout the show.
Cookies. Or, as y'all call them here, biscuits, right? What's the billiard game y'all do that sounds like a brand of cookies? Snooker? That's it. And am I getting notes of Axe body spray?
I think they call it something else here.
What does that mean?
we still
Ain't nobody here gonna kiss their sister. What? Which is an American phrase that I'm now realizing does not exist here. I mean, come on, y'all. It's 2020. Let's just call them cigarettes. Am I right? What's a wanker?
Okay, we get it. Different countries have different slang.
That right there is another example of how our English and y'all's English sometimes do not jive.
It's not that funny. Oh, dang it. I've gone to make Coach sad. Can't stand to see him like that. Like a puppy dog locked out of the sausage factory. Sorry, Coach. Are you ready for some football? No? Good, because neither is this show.
Yeah.
Because the soccer gets about as much airtime as the day jobs on Friends.
Here we go. And there you go.
I mean, come on. Players aren't even sweaty at halftime. And while Ted Lasso may start out as a dope who can't tell a striker from a scouser, by the end, he'll still be proudly ignorant about the sport he's paid to coach.
What do you mean how that's offsides? What? No, I'm serious. How's that offside? I don't understand it yet.
And Oaf, who coasts by on
Why they gotta point out the fact that it's the season finale?
charm, while everyone else does the work? Ted really is American. Oh, no offense, Coach. Dang, I feel so bad making fun of this guy. It's like keying Mr. Rogers' pickup truck. Surrounding Ted is a major league full of side characters. Perhaps because the show has the same exact plot as the film Major League. Like Rebecca, the team owner
Really? I'm not the only one who noticed that?
you'll be ashamed you didn't recognize sooner.
Really?
Higgins, the sub to her dom. Keeley, a character who's eerily similar to Jason Sudeikis' new
Did he just say Higgins the sub to her dom?
girlfriend? That's awkward.
Wait,
Coach
what?
B, a character who's eerily similar to Jason Sudeikis' new girlfriend? That's awkward. Coach Beard, every King of the Hill character combined into one guy.
Yep.
The only two players who
Sure.
get any character development. A parade of barely recognized footballers who we can only assume had their lives changed by Ted off camera. And Nate, your favorite little introvert since Ted in Scrubs. Man, Bill Lawrence is so good at making lovably weak characters we can all laugh at.
Colin, Isaac, please stop.
He's such a wimp. Oh, didn't realize you heard that. My bad, Coach.
God damn it.
So cuddle up for the right show at the right time, because we all just crave some positivity in an otherwise terrible year. And nothing heals our fractured psyche like a southern fried alpha male football coach, who's also a worldly musical-loving feminist who always knows the exact right thing to say. Yeah, that's a thing.
I'd hate to see you and Michelle Obama arm wrestle, but I wouldn't be able to take my eyes off it either.
Even though if you met a person who acted like Ted in real life, you would probably assume they're a serial killer. And you'd be 100% right. Oh, I'm sorry, Coach. I take it back. I believe in you. I just need someone to believe in me. Starring the snuggly American, the beautiful shame, Coach Beard. That's it. That's his actual name. The Water Boy, Tosh Spice, assistant to the regional owner, Harry Styles, David Belland, Clean Street Hooligans. Making a good point.
MVP! Yeah, it is.
I was when you're gonna bust in the room.
Good eye. Jackpot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when someone walks into the room and you're totally not watching porn.
Biscuits with the boss time.
Hey, how are you?
Excuse me, Miss Watson.
Hey, boss.
Rebecca, is that what you're really doing?
Cornballers.
Cornballers? Alright, that was a fun little video. I always enjoy the honest trailers, and yeah, they had some bits there. I thought they were losing me, but then I kind of understood that it was kind of just like a long, drawn-out joke of like how many dad jokes Ted has, which is definitely a theme in this show, that's for sure. But shout out to Screen Junkies for the honest trailer. Let's talk about my top 3 characters from Season 1. Now, Ted is obviously the best character in the show. I think it's kind of unfair to even include him in this list, to be honest, because the whole show is like centered around him. And in this case, Ted is very much the best character on the show. He's got the best story, he's got the best dialogue, he's got the best, plot twists as well. He's got the best development, it feels like. Although, has he really developed? No, I guess it really hasn't. Other people have. But Ted is a complete breath of fresh air for, like, just TV series in general. That's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, we just haven't had many characters that are this positive and uplifting and, reliably kind of, strong, I guess, is a way to kind of word it. So Ted is definitely number 1. So I've put together my top 3, not including Ted. Honorable mentions, honestly, need to go to Danny Rojas, and I wanted to put Roy on this list so bad. He is like number 3B kind of thing. Like, I wanted to have Roy on this list because he was such a fun character, a lot of development as well, especially towards the latter part of the so actually all throughout the season. Roy's journey was a lot of fun to watch happen, like, in the background of this series, especially going back and like watching, doing editing and stuff and getting more caught up so I could do these lists. Roy's story really was constant throughout this series. But let's get to the top 3. Number 3 on the list.
Yeah, you.
So Keely in the first episode, I didn't really pay much attention to her. I thought she was just going to be like the love interest kind of device, I guess, for Jamie's character, because it seemed to be that he was going to be a main part of the show. And on the surface, it just seemed like Keely was a bit of a lovable kind of bimbo influencer kind of character, which one would assume would probably come with a lot of like insecurities and dishonesty and stuff like that. That's usually how these characters are portrayed in, these kind of shows. But she has some amazing moments of just pure, like, her moral compass. I've said this throughout the reactions. Her moral compass is just perfect. Like, she's not, it's so hard to explain. She's not like the kind of like really soft-hearted person that's a bit of a pushover. She's still very firm, she's still very strong, but she's so honest and sincere with what she says, and very there are times throughout the series where she admits that she was wrong in certain situations and stuff like that. Not the kind of traits that you would usually get from a character that's got this kind of backstory built into them and in this kind of show. So I think Keely was as much the backbone of the show as Ted Lasso himself was, to be honest. It seems to be a combination of Ted and Keely is what really just drives the sweetness of this show and drives that real beautiful kind of vibe between those two characters. It just permeates throughout the entire show and the team and the organization and all the negativity that is stored in this soccer club. Keely and Ted managed to turn that around, even though it didn't result in a win at the end of the season. But they've made this team learn how to care for each other, which I think is the first step in Ted's, overall plan of what he wants to accomplish at his time with his time at the team. But Keely was certainly an unexpected pleasure in this series. Number 2 on the list.
Oh, look at her, she's fucking fat!
I loved how Rebecca was clinging to her revenge plot against Rupert. The actress and the character are both so just brilliantly inflexible with how the story progresses. Like, the actress, she's got that real stern Britishness to her. And I grew up in a British family, and there is definitely, especially with my grandparents and my family that's way more connected to, the home country, is that what I would call it? Than my parents were. Very, very stern, absolutely no nonsense. They don't want to hear any bullshit. They have such a impenetrable kind of barrier put up to protect them from thinking any differently to what they've got in mind. It's very much a trait that I notice. I apologize, and I'm sure there's nice British people out there, but I come from a very traditional British family, and I definitely could see that in Rebecca, which is why the storyline with the biscuits, as that went through, that was such a... There was like a load-bearing gesture from Ted. Like, it just got straight to the core of Rebecca and who she was as a person and really what she needed at that time. So I don't know if Ted knew this and kind of went in knowing that, obviously he would have known about the divorce, but knowing that she's going to be really struggling, knowing Ted, he probably did. But Rebecca was a character I most wanted to see turn a new leaf by the end of the series, and this show gave me that story like in full. I mean, before the final episode, Rebecca had had her redemption, she'd come clean, and she got Higgins back. She did a lot of things to sort of, you know, redeem herself in a very short period of time. And like I say, I appreciate the fact that they let that happen and they didn't make Rebecca's character pay for her decision and that she was allowed to move on with her life. I don't know, maybe there's a message in that we can all kind of take away. And obviously the relationship with Ted is fantastic. It was the constant positivity and constant just, you know, beautiful gestures and all these like amazing like compliments and things like that just continued to break down Rebecca's barrier, and she was no match for the decency of Ted Lasso. And I think that's a beautiful message that this show puts out into the world, is you don't have to be the one that wins the argument with your negativity. Sometimes there is a positive outcome that you may not be able to see. So fantastic character, loved Rebecca's story, and let's get to number one on the list. Alright, Nate the Great. This actor has the energy of like Carl Pilkington crossed with like an old school silver-haired English stand-up comedian. That's the kind of vibe I get from him. He reminds me of stuff that my dad used to watch back in the day. I'm glad we've got more of his backstory to learn in season 2, I'm hoping, because it sounds like he still lives with his parents. Like, I'd love to know more about what his story is. How did he end up at the club? Things like that. But seeing him go from being the coach's assistant to the assistant coach was a truly heartwarming part of this story and part of the series. Every single time Nate had a line, he absolutely killed it. Like, I think he may have like the highest strike rate for just hilarious delivery in this show. Roy's got to be up there as well, but Nate, he has such a effortless kind of character. He has this perfect like mousy kind of demeanor about him, which I really like the fact that we've seen this character build. In fact, looking at the 3 people I've got in the top 3 characters, Keely was very much positive the entire way through, and like I say, very much the moral backbone of the show. Rebecca went from being evil to being really, really, you know, kind and now on board, and now seems to be completely committed to the team. And then we've got Nate, who was on board the entire time, but he's gone from this shy, meek character to, I think he calls Rebecca a shrew in the final episode. I don't know, is that what you said, Nate?
You shrew.
Alright, cool. The rest of his story with Ted and how Ted helped him come out of his shell, with the conversation with the team, and even his relationship with the players as well, watching that evolve, which was all a part of the Roy, Jamie / Roy developing his own thing story as well, was just a great watch. Like, it's kind of a cliche thing that they would be bullying like the equipment kid, but knowing where Nate ends up by the end of the season, you know, just makes that all of that mean so much more. This is a show that is really efficient and dense with its storytelling. They get a lot of story told in the very short episodes that they have, and yeah, it's just great, efficient writing and very heartwarming. And Nate, again, it might be a controversial list because Ted should really be at the top and Roy should be in here somewhere as well, but Nate was a character that I enjoyed throughout the entire season, even if his humor was a bit dry and understated. I'm gonna give him the number 1 character because, yeah, I enjoyed every single scene that he was in, and I can't wait to see what happens with him in the next season. And before we get to the top 3 moments of this season, I found the video, An American Coach in London, NBC Sports Premier League film featuring Jason Sudeikis. It goes for 4 minutes. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but I'm going to have a quick look at it now. Then we'll do the top 3 list, and then we'll get out of here. So let's do this one.
How you doing? This is Ted Lasso. I'm the new head coach of the Tottenham Hotspurs, and I'd like to talk to the Queen, please. My name's Ted Lasso. I'm new head coach for Tottenham Spurs. Been brought over here to implement my coaching style. Football's football.
It's not the Spurs, it's the Hotspur, which is a whole different thing, isn't it?
Football, no matter where you play it. You got grass, you got cleats, and you got helmets with masks on them. Football in the States is my specialty, but they have a different kind of football over here.
Kick it!
Coach Beard
Circle
as well.
them up, have them put on their pads, and let's start playing for real. They're wearing their pads, Coach.
There's a lot of small similarities. Any team I coach, they're going to play hard for all 4 quarters, okay?
2 halves.
What's that?
2 halves.
Okay, halves. We're going to
Right,
play
this
hard
is
for
like
2 halves.
the pilot.
And we're going to play till there's a winner and there's a loser. What's that?
A tie.
Okay, till there's a winner, a loser, or a tie. You can tie. If you tried to end a game in a tie in the United States, heck, that might be listed in Revelations as the cause for the apocalypse. Yeah, do we have any goals this season? Absolutely. We're going to win a lot of games. We're going to get in the playoffs.
No playoffs.
There's no playoffs. Again, my job just got a lot easier. Ties and no playoffs. Why do you even do this? One of the issues I've had is what tackling was.
There you go, tackle him. What the hell? That's not a tackle. It's just sliding around.
Soccer tackle, sir.
All right there, Gary. That's how you tackle.
To prepare for this job, read a lot of books, watched a lot of game films. But to be honest with you, the best way to learn how to play this game is to play this game. The square goal?
He's playing
Circle's goal. See, I got you a little do-si-do. You don't know what to do. There you go. Good stop. Okay.
Game over.
Yeah, it's over for now. 15-0, huh? We're going to go in a rematch. Yeah, they do things a little bit differently. Hard for me to
15-0.
find some of the things they do a little silly.
Pass it in. Well, you keep passing it backwards. What's going on here?
It's nice to be able to go backwards and forwards and not have some ref make a big deal about it.
Will you explain to me how that was offside? No, I'm asking you. Seriously, explain offside to me. It made no sense.
Well, the first thing I had to do and get...
This is like the greatest hits of jokes from Ted Lasso, the series. Just rolled into one video.
And this job was learn about the competition. We came up with the flashcard system in order for me to make American comparisons to English teams. All I had to do was link what I don't know to what I do know.
Manchester United. Super rich, everybody either loves them or hates them.
Dallas Cowboys.
Liverpool. Used to be great, haven't won a title in a really long time.
Also Dallas Cowboys.
Cardiff City, Dragons on the crest.
What's that hot girl's name from Game of Thrones?
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
Manchester City.
Jennifer Lawrence.
West Ham United.
Pickup trucks. Because of that training that I did, I guarantee that we're going to beat the Cowboys and Jennifer Lawrence. Has there been a learning
Did he call West Ham United's logo the pickup truck because it's got the hammers on it?
curve? I would say a little bit.
Starting to understand why these scores are so low. Look how tiny these goals are.
Those are practice goals, Coach.
He knocked in that ball with his head. Is that legal?
Totally legal.
Hey, that's... Wow, 3 points.
No points.
No points. Why not?
It's got to go in.
Come on, Rob. You got to get it in there to get 3 points.
1 point.
They got like an application for a phone. I can learn the rules. What are these, trust exercises? Who's orange shoes there?
Gareth Bale.
That's Gareth Bale. Where he's from? He's from England?
Wales.
Wales. Wait, that's another country?
Yes and no.
How many countries are in this country?
4.
But I'm learning. And
I always love that exchange. Wales, is that another country? Yes or no?
and I want to learn. These young men, they just would not understand exactly what I was trying to get them to do.
Guys, all I'm looking for is 60% effort 4,000% of the time. That's it, skip. Skip like little girls. Go, not a care in the world. I'm lucky to be doing this for a living. Everybody just do the robot.
You got to ride a few players a little bit harder than some of the other players.
Blondie, you are killing me. John, what do you got on there pants-wise? What is those? 3 quarters. And I get those in the women's section, John. Pick up the ball with your hands. That is a violation.
In an act of solidarity, I spent an entire day not using my hands out of respect towards the game. And I think that went pretty well. I think it garnered a lot of respect from the players. They appreciated not only the fact that I could do most activities without the use of my hands, but that I just tried. After a few days of practice, players gave me nicknames. Started small, but now they'll chant it at me every now and then. That's pretty nice.
What's the nickname?
Wanker.
Do you know what it means?
I think it just means great. Like just like a nice guy, like, kind heart, someone that listens, someone that'll push you. A wanker is someone that doesn't mind being alone, likes to sit with his thoughts. Well, with any new job, you got to anticipate a learning curve. But I tell you what, I'm in Tottenham, and I'm here to stay. You can guarantee that. 1 second here. Oh, nope, I got fired.
Premier League is on NBC and the NBC Sports Network. Live on TV, online, or on...
So that's how it started, was to promote the Premier League going to NBC Sports. That is hilarious. I can totally imagine Sudeikis, like, thinking about, like, man, there's more. This character could really be something. There's a lot more of this story to be told. The humor's there. I love the idea that this is something that kind of grew and built in somebody's, like, creative mind for a few years. It makes me wonder, though, like, what was Ted Lasso like before the start of the series? What about Coach Beard?
Jesus loves marijuana. Jesus loves...
That's nice. But we're going to finish up this video with my top 3 moments from season 1 of Ted Lasso. This was really hard to do because some moments I liked because the drama and the way that the story was told and everything like that. Other moments I liked because they were hilarious. It's really hard to, like, rank them because is this one more dramatic than that other one was funny kind of thing. So I'm going to do my best anyway. Let's have a look at my top 3 moments from season 1 of Ted Lasso. Moment number 3.
Oh, he makes the extra pass! Hendrick buries it!
So this was a heartbreaking moment for the viewers and obviously the team in the show as well. We spent 9 episodes with Jamie refusing to be a good teammate, and then when the entire season's on the line and he finally makes the extra pass and relegates his former teammates to the lower division, it's brutal. It's absolutely gutting. I didn't see it coming. And it was a genuinely, like, heartbreaking kind of moment. It's hard to say if he did the extra pass out of spite or if he did it because of what he learned from Ted. But the fact that he did it at all is such a genius way to use sports analogies for, like, heart-stopping, crucial plot moments in the series. Obviously, that would lead into the heartbreaking scene where Ted sees Jamie now back under the guidance of his, like, abusive father, it looks like, and just made the impact of that decision for Jamie to win the game and relegate his team hold so much more weight, knowing that he obviously knew that when he got back, his old man was going to have a go at him. Which, by the way, what's going on with the coach of Manchester City? Can we get Jamie Tartt's dad out of the locker room, please? And obviously the cherry on top is Ted only wants to congratulate Jamie on making the extra pass and helping his team achieve success, and the beautiful little moment with the army man with the goggles, with the binoculars, which is such a great metaphor of Ted saying, like, I'll be watching, like, I believe in you, you can do it. That is such a beautiful moment between those two characters without anything actually happening between those characters. And again, great payoff for everything that built up to that moment all throughout the season. It was such a strong finale this show had. And that's why it gets the number 3 spot. Even though it's not the funniest moment, it was so important. It definitely got a huge reaction out of me when I watched it. And next on my top 3 list of my favorite moments from Ted Lasso season 1.
Whatever you say, Rupert Dukes. Yeah, just let me know if I'm winning or losing, all right?
Rupert is an absolute bastard in this show, if I'm being completely honest. He's treated in the show as like some sort of charismatic and beloved figure, but to the audience, he's portrayed as the most scummiest person on the planet, it feels like. His constant antagonizing and bullying of his ex-wife knows no bounds, and it's just absolutely disgusting behavior to, like, see that happening and nobody doing it, which I guess is not new for a lot of people out there in the world. They've seen this stuff happening in their real lives as well. But when Ted finally steps up and hustles Rupert in the game of darts while delivering the most polite, sophisticated fuck you ever put on film, it makes that moment land very, very well. And it was, Rupert needed to get his comeuppance, and I feel like Ted was the last person that you kind of expected to, you know, embarrass and humble Rupert the way he did. The dialogue that happens with Rupert saying, "Oh, I forgot I had these," followed up with Ted saying, "Oh, I forgot I was left-handed," is just perfect. Like, the reaction from Rebecca at that moment is great. It was also a big scene for Rebecca afterwards, you know, shouting drinks for all the locals and kind of being the, you know, hero for the day. I really enjoyed Rebecca getting that win Obviously, it would continue her down a path of negativity, but for that moment, Rebecca needed that win. She needed to see Rupert humbled. The audience needed to see Rupert humbled as well. Like I say, fantastic actor, asshole of a character, just really, really dislikable. Really enjoyed seeing him get his comeuppance. And again, Ted, just with the absolute gentleman's stroke, he just embarrasses this man, and that's why it's one of my favorite scenes from this series.
Shut your stupid little twat mouth, or I will shut it for you.
Okay, I will shut my stupid twat mouth. Let's get to the number one entry on this list. My favorite moment from the entire first season of Ted Lasso is...
Come on, boy, you got this here, right?
You got this, Nate. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Let's do it.
So I didn't see this scene coming. I was still recovering from Ted getting angry with Nate and drunkenly scorning him the night before. But Nate ripping into the team like it's a goddamn Comedy Central roast was exactly what needed to happen for that character. It wasn't even a revenge thing. There was nothing in this that was done out of malice. It was still done out of the goal of getting the team to achieve success. So there was nothing like cruel-hearted from Nate in this moment here. He had genuine, what do you call it, like intentions for this to be something that would help the team. But this is a character who went from being thrown in wheelie bins to making comments like this.
That you've been playing like a big dumb pussy. You second guess more than a shitty psychic. Do you mean that? Oh, you think that's funny, do you, Colin? You know your fancy step over bullshit. Let me ask you this, do you wax your pubes?
No.
Then why are you always trying to play like a Brazilian?
Football is life.
Yeah, well then your defence is death.
Tough but fair.
But the reason that this scene is my favourite moment from the first season of Ted Lasso is how the energy drops when it's Roy's turn to hear what Nate has to say.
Roy!
I love the fact that Roy walked up to him in the middle of a quiet locker room and demanded that he say it to his face and not read it off a piece of paper. That was Roy taking Ted Lasso's advice, probably advice from the book that he was reading. A Wrinkle in Time, was that the one? And he is like saying to Nate, like, no, this is your moment. This is a pinnacle moment in your life that's going to determine what happens from here. If you handle this the right way, you will have success and you will be a bigger, better person for it. And the speech that Nate gives Roy is brutally honest. I love the fact that it highlighted that Roy's superpower is his anger, because you see a lot of that in his character, not even on the field, like just in general, like a very angry guy. In fact, I think Keeley worded it the best.
I'm Roy Kent, and I get paid to play a game, but I'm mad all the time.
So feeling like that was the thing, the intangible that Roy always had that made him such a successful player throughout his career. Awesome, like, insight from Nate. I feel like he's a real, football genius, I guess. Like, he really, very similar to Ted, he can see not just what you get on the surface of these players, but he can see what's going on under the surface as well, and he knows how to get that out of them as well. But cue to Roy ripping the bench off the wall. Let's get these fuckers, and that wraps up the best scene from Ted Lasso Season 1. Thanks for checking this video out, guys. Let me know in the comments what your favorite moments or your favorite characters from Season 1 are. I'm going to start watching Season 2 probably this week sometime. I'll still be a little bit behind, but there'll be episodes coming up every single Tuesday, as we've been doing all throughout Season 1. And once we finish that, I'm going to try and keep a routine going in terms of having episodes go up on certain days and stuff like that. At this point, it's looking like Schitt's Creek might be the next series that I get into and make my companion series to Brooklyn. So we keep Brooklyn on Monday, and then we'll start doing Schitt's Creek every Tuesday once Ted Lasso is finished. So let me know in the comments if you guys are keen for that. Let me know all about your Ted Lasso thoughts from Season 1. I hope you guys check out my reaction to Season 2. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.